What's up, YouTube? The Master Gamer here, bringing you guys another video. Today's video, we are breaking down my thoughts from coming back from EA Play, playing Madden 19 in LA. So let's just get right into it. Right off the start, you're going to see the real player motion, something that they added this year. It kind of gives every player their own unique feel, gives more realistic animations, and they're able to do a lot of cool stuff with that. That being said, it did slow down the pace of the game to match the animations. So at the current speed, they were way too fast. But to slow the game down to kind of match the feel of the animation, so the game does play a little slower. I don't think that's a good or bad thing. It's just something that we're all gonna have to get used to. And one cut is actually really cool. It's what I would liken it to is the stop and go for Madden 18. Madden 18, it wasn't really a feature; it was just a thing you could do. So if Madden 18 stop and go was an automatic car, one cut's kind of stick shift. So it's the same kind of thing, but you have to manually really input it. It takes a second kind of like go. There's an animation to the one cut where there wasn't for stop and go. And it's different for every player. Again, the real player motion makes every player kind of feel unique. And that was something that I felt while playing the game. Every player did have their own unique feel. Some players took different steps for their cuts. I remembered the best back that I used while I was there was Le'Veon Bell. He got all the good, he had the best animation, so he might be the running back for next year. It's another thing that's going to separate players, and that's really cool to see. Now, I don't know, one cut should be a juke, but I don't know if it's based on agility juke or just build. I'm not 100% sure there. It doesn't say in here. I didn't ask while I was over there. I'm just thinking about it now. That's my fault. But again, one cut's really cool. It's again a manual kind of stop and go. Now moving on, we have the strafe burst, which is the defensive counter that they implemented to counter the stop and go, or not stop and go, the one cut, which is actually really cool. A lot of times we get new features, but we don't have the direct counters. This is a direct counter to a feature, which is really cool to see. I didn't try it when I was out here, to be honest. I didn't know about it until I got back home. So yeah, I don't really have much to say there. It seems like a really cool feature. It actually seems necessary based off how the game played. So users did feel kind of clunky when putting. So this would probably be the solution to that. Now I need to actually test it to be able to say yes or no. But it does seem like they're on the right track with that at the very least. And there's ways to tune it to make it better. Now moving on, you can obviously at the bottom of the screen, right to the right of me, or I guess it's my left, right there, is the branching special moves. That's something that's really cool to see. That's something that was specifically mentioned to me while I was over there. And it's really cool. I mean, you could just kind of go from juke spin into hurdle. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff you do with it. My only concern is that since the juke system is largely the same in terms of if you juke someone, it's because of a fake out or a steerable. And a steerable you could kind of already chain, if that makes sense. So I don't think with this current system it's going to be as useful as it will probably in the future, assuming the juking system changes, right? So my thought process is this. Yeah, you can chain the jukes, which are really cool, and again, I really like this feature and concept, but I don't think in the current system of the game, because if you juke someone, it's based off a fake out, that it's really going to be too helpful this year. In the future, I think it will be really good, and I think implementing it now is the best way of getting it ready for that. But right now, I don't expect to be a huge meta impact of just chaining jukes. Now, there was some cool things we could do with one cut into jukes, and there's going to be stuff like that, but I don't think it's going to be really chaining jukes together this year at the very least. Alright, so on to the running moves. We have hit the hole and push the pile. Now, hit the hole, I didn't really know how to do it over there. It was a little confusing at first, so I don't really have a good feel for it yet. I can't tell you if it's good, bad, or really what it is. And again, same thing with push the pile. I found out exactly how to do it late. I ended up trucking a lot because you actually have to flick the right stick up. You have to hold it up. You can't just like tap it up. So it's easy to do. My thing is, a lot of times it felt like I was just kind of like getting behind the lineman as opposed to like using them for a push. So I don't know exactly how good it's going to be. Maybe when you get these really good running backs or you start using like fullbacks and running back that have a lot of strength, that's when it's going to be really powerful. But honestly, it didn't feel overpowered in any way when I was there, so that's always good to see. It's probably should be tuned up a little bit even. or taken out some of like the really slow animations. Like there was a few animations where you'd almost get behind the lineman and just kind of like cha-cha, if that makes sense. You kind of take like step here, step here, step here, but not really go forward. You kind of just like avoid people. So yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how to feel about it yet, but it's something that's cool to see, something that's cool to add, and throughout the year we might find more and more utility with it. And hit the hole, it was kind of the same thing with push spot. I don't really know how to use it for a while, so I didn't get too much testing with it. But the best way of saying it is, if it's good, there's a skill gap to it, because I didn't know really what I was doing, and I couldn't do it at all. So I guess that's a good thing, and I like that. But I can't really give good feedback right now, at least, if it was positive, negative, needs to be changed. I don't know, because again, I didn't really get too much time to try it. It's not that I didn't get too much time, but I didn't utilize that as much. And it was really hard to run on that build too, which makes that harder too. Moving on, we have the catching improvements. That was actually really cool. So they had they added a feature that's designed to kind of counter high ball, low ball. I think it's really more so high ball, and that's the mid-air collisions. So a lot of times, like in man coverage last year, a player would stop playing once you threw the ball in a break, and that was because like they didn't go for a catch. Like they failed to go for a catch or something like that. I forgot what the exact term was when I was asking them over there, but they put in a feature in itself to kind of make sure that doesn't happen. Make sure that even though they can't go for a catch, they can still play defense. If that makes sense. If they're still in position, they can still play something. That's really cool to see. They also tuned high ball, so you can't high ball rack anymore. You can't high ball possession catch, because that's not really how high balls work. A high ball is an aggressive catch. You are supposed to be going all the way up for it. The high ball Julio glitch is fixed because of this. The high ball aggressive catch glitch is fixed because of that, and that's really awesome. This did kind of pour over into low ball, but it wasn't supposed to, so I think it's just a bug. Not to mention, now that target passing is gone, you can actually directionally low ball and high ball everywhere again. So you can low ball up again, and you can high ball down again. So that's really cool to see. And moving on, we have tackling. I mean, there's better gang tackles. Is the very short version of all of, I forgot it's the opposite of all of this, is that gang tackles play better. You won't just get a dude that just jumps onto the pile and just kind of like ragdolls off. You won't get a dude who just jumps on the pile and then they break the tackle because of it. So that's really cool to see. And also, they added cool hit stick animations. I don't know if it was a benefit to add the cool hit stick animations, not, but they looked really cool. I'm not gonna lie, they were cool. There was also crazy cool new catches. Not in a bad way, they were just cool. But yeah, they actually fixed the hit stick a little bit, so you know sometimes you would hit stick down and they would hit stick just to the side and kind of like just flop. They fixed that. I didn't see that as much, which is good. Yeah, I mean, that tackling felt smoother. That's really all there is to say there. Yeah. Alright, so now we get into quarterback signatures, which is I can tell you right now, it's gonna be kind of controversial when the game comes out. It's great for the sim guys. There's cool things you do with it in terms of competitive guys and the more hardcore players, but it makes audibling and hot routing and slide protecting take a lot longer. So essentially what it is that every quarterback has their own kind of style, their own thing that they do at the line of scrimmage. So every time you hot route, every time you audible, every time you slide protect or ID the mic, actually ID the mic, I don't think did it. Now that I think about it. I think it was just slide, hot route, audible, flip, anything of that nature. If you're in shotgun, the quarterback could kind of, I don't know if I could just like stand up here and it'll be able to make sense, but the quarterback would be standing up, they just like shotgun, we come over, talk to the O-line, like he do that thing, where he goes to the O-line, says something real quick, and then walks back. Now it wasn't as bad as it sounds, but he would take a few steps up, look both ways. It was a significant enough amount of time to the point where you definitely are going to notice it. Now, it's also different in single back and shotgun. Certain formations, I don't see it at all. I don't know if that was just a glitch or not, but yeah. So I don't know if people are gonna like it. The one thing that I actually really did like about that, what they added, and that's something that was, again, specifically mentioned to me, is that your first action before you get to the line of scrimmage, no matter what it is free. And what I mean by that is there's literally no animation. So you know how in previous Maddens, if you have one hot route before you get to the line of scrimmage and like nobody sees it, there's no animation for it. Well, it's like that for everything. So if you flip the play, and like flip the play as in like flip a run, or I guess technically flip a play if you're in a symmetrical set, so you want to flip halfback with right instead of left. Or if you're in, say, gun doubles or Y trips, single back Y trips, running stretch, and you want to flip it before you get to the line of scrimmage, you can, and nobody will know that you flipped it, so that's really cool. Yeah, I was really happy about that feature. It makes a lot more sets viable because it keeps them off, keeps the opponent off kilter, and that's always cool to see. That being said, I don't know how people are gonna feel about it. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of people that don't like it. I feel like there's also gonna be a lot of people that do like it. Yeah, but there are certain situations where it's hard to say. Like, it was cool in certain areas, and it did make the game take a little longer, and I wasn't too thrilled that you're at the line of scrimmage for as long, and you want to kind of get in and get out, get the play going, have your thought process, and then snap the ball. But that being said, it's in the game. Hopefully it could get sped up a little bit in competitive modes. That would be the only thing I'd want to see. But it definitely was cool. I mean, I can't lie. Like, it was cool seeing all the quarterbacks, different animations. That being said, in terms of gameplay, it definitely slowed things down a little bit. So my only worry with that is like end of half, when you're like rushing, or end of half or end of game, when you're just rushing to get your audibles off, your hot routes off, and you don't have time because he's going in and he's trying to like talk to the lineman. That might be an issue, and hopefully down the line that could be changed so that maybe in under 2 minutes he doesn't do it. I'm not sure. That's just throwing something out there. That's my one concern with that. Also, you're just gonna see right here, and I'm not even gonna transition to this. User controlled celebrations, cool. Like, that's just cool. The one thing I noticed is that while I was there, the timer for the celebrations was really short. I would be personally okay with it getting extended a little bit. That's just me. Maybe I'm not part of the group there. I don't really know. I didn't talk to anybody about that. It's just something that I noticed is it's really quick. So maybe that could be extended a little bit. But I don't know how much that would extend games, but probably not too long if I had to guess. Yeah, I think the celebrations are really cool, so I feel like you want to highlight that at pretty much all costs. Yeah, it's just, they were cool. I don't know how to say it. It was really nice having celebrations that you can control. Especially after what Fortnite's done. It was just really cool to see. And moving on again, we have the coverages. So they added cover 4 palms, cover 4 quarters, which again, are man match concepts. The mid-read plays a little deeper. I didn't test it too much, to be fair, but it definitely did play deeper. The cover 3, I mean, the ball kind of covers it. The cover 3, well, there's certain coverages that will play like a Mabel, even if they don't say Mabel. Yeah, I mean, like, it's pretty straightforward. There's man match concepts, there's zone that plays man, kind of. Cover 3, there's cover 3 buzz, cover 3 match that kind of plays similar to a Mabel. That's the way to take out your compression sets a little bit. And cover 2, again, it mainly is just focusing on the mid-read. And then moving on is one of the best improvements of the year, hands down. Protect the sticks works. I mean, when I tell you the first 4th and 20, I played against someone that they were on 4th and 20, and I was like, wait a second, I don't have to blitz, I could protect the sticks, and I sent 3, I pass commit, and I protected the sticks, and there was nothing they could do. It was so nice. I'm not gonna lie, it was really nice not panicking on 4th and 20 on defense. That was one of my favorite things that I personally got to use there. It was like I said, I can't express enough how nice it was to not have to worry about a 4th and 20 more than a 4th and 5. It was definitely great. The new formation that they mentioned, it's similar to nickel normal. I don't know how viable it's going to be. It really just comes down to heat. There's heat in there. There's slightly different blitz angles. Yep, I don't really know exactly how good it's going to be. It didn't look too unique in its pressures, but it was different than nickel normal in terms of its pressures, so we'll see. Maybe this glitch. That's all I really got to say about that. It was cool, but not like a 155 per hour cool. That's how I would describe it. And moving on to what's not on the blog. So there's really two things I want to touch here. One, clear out routes work. So what I mean by clear out route is a streak that pulls back a zone. So say you're in trip set end, and the defense is in cover 3. You put your outside receiver on a streak, your inside receiver on a corner, your farthest inside receiver on a flat. So the streak is going to pull back the deep blue all the way up. He's going to keep running with that streak till the corner gets open. You throw the corner out, and you know how in Madden 18 that DB will just immediately snap onto the corner. Well, in Madden 19 they actually react as if they're not looking at the ball because they aren't looking at the ball. So you're actually able to throw that corner out, assuming there's a hard fight or nothing, no other zone covering that. So that was really cool to see. Clear out routes work again. The deep corners are now viable again because, again, when a corner is turned his hips and looking at the other direction, he shouldn't be able to instantly snap on the ball, right? And that was really cool to be able to bring those route combos back. Something that I liked a lot from the game that didn't really get highlighted in the blog, but I think is awesome. Just playing with it, it was really nice to not have mind reading deep blues. Also, something, again, not mentioned in the blog, but that was really cool to hear, and I was really happy with it, was you're actually able to motion a running back and a receiver on the same play. So say you're in a set like strip side end, you can motion the running back over while still motioning a receiver. Now, the way it was set up at LA, you had to motion the receiver first and then the running back. That being said, that is subject for change. It very well could change, and I would like to see it change that way you're able to still motion snap and block the running back. But again, going back to trip set end, that only makes a set like trip set end better because now you're not forced to have just the running back and the tight end on the same side, and then you can't motion. Now you're able to fully motion your running back to the other side to pick up heat, and you're able to motion receiver. So I thought that was awesome. That was one of the best additions that I don't think anybody really asked for. But now that I think about it, it almost seems like, why did nobody ask for this? It was one of the more creative things that I saw that I was really happy that they added. Again, like I don't feel like anybody really even asked for it feedback. Like I never seen people complaining about it, but now that it's in the game, it's like it's huge. Like it really is huge. It makes so many more sets viable, and I really like that a lot. And it's so nice to see such a small detail get added, and that's gonna make a lot of people's lives easier in certain sets. They want to be more unique. They're able to now, and I like that a lot. But yeah, EA Play was fun. Game was fun. There's obviously, it's still a work in progress, right? I mean, there's still 2 months before it comes out, so there's a lot of things that could change. But yeah, it's gonna be a better year in my opinion already. Obviously, again, there's bugs they have to fix. There's things that they still have to fix before the initial release. But again, I'm really excited for this game to come out. There's a lot of good new features that they added, a lot of balancing that they did for old issues. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun year. If you have any questions, ask me down in the comments below. If I get enough, I'll do a video. If not, I'll just reply down there. As always, it's been the Master Gamer, and I'm out.